kick it off. Hello, everybody, and hello, Jeebus. Welcome back. Excellent to have you here for our finale cast. Hi, and you're sounding great with your new mic. Previously, yeah. Hopefully, you won't have any funny pops and stuff like we did before. And yeah, this is it. We're here, last cast of the event, and our prize pool has been locked in. We're gonna have 180 bucks for the top, and half of that, 90 bucks for second place, and we have a third and fourth place match because there's 60 bucks for whoever wins that. Of course, shout outs again to Helgen who donated this, and everyone on the Patreon who helped fund it. Very cool stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah.
Everybody that we're seeing here today is gonna have a high seed for the next tournament, so they can potentially skip a group stage. And a unique general back is actually the first time that we're going to be having one of those. I don't even know what it's going to look like. But that's going to be for either nyxnyxnyx or aridex. And if Nyx takes it, it'll be on the Voth, and if aridex takes it, it'll be on the Fae. Because they use those decks way more than the other two decks that they've got. But we're actually going to start with our third, fourth place match today, where we've got MushyMango and Witch King 6. And there's a little bit of preference on these guys as well. We can see that MushyMango preferring Fae over Sag, and Witch King preferring Cassie over Zaran for the most part. And we've got a best of 3 for these guys, and a best of 5 for the finale. So we're going to have anywhere between 5 and 8 games.
These are some interesting deck matchups. I'm curious to see who will pick what first.
Usually, the Artifact Sag deck is usually weak against Pain.
Versus, yeah. Yeah, I think Mushy's gonna pick a Fae, and maybe Witch King picks Zaran. Maybe.
Being able to heal up the burn.
You're gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, the burn's gonna be happening, so.
The ceiling to heal will be there for sure.
Or no.
Yeah. There's no restrictions on which deck they use, so we could potentially just see one of these decks not used, or maybe they'll mix it up a whole bunch. Who knows? All right. Game number 1 of the third, fourth place match. Auden Jeebus, aka Jeebus, are you ready to jump into game number 1?
I'm ready.
Excellent. All right, we are going into the first game of the day in 3, 2, 1. Paste. All right. We've got Cassie here with the creep. Some funny stuff like Obliterate and Betrayal for the late game. MushyMango opening up with Fae. A lot of power in the BBS. You can see multiple Bloodbound Mentors ready to go. Witch King opening up with the Doubler. Just has a Darkspine Elemental out to make the creep a little more effective later. It's not really that threatening early, but at least it's sturdy. It's not going to be getting bursted down anytime soon. Interesting to have both a Betrayal and an Obliterate in hand. These are gigantic cards. If I check the Obliterate count, Witch King does have 2 copies of Obliterate, so usually this is the card that you just keep pitching back every time you see it, because you're pretty likely to draw it again.
And knowing that Faye's running Lightbender, probably not going to need it for a while. Obliterate, that is.
Yeah. Lightbender really good in the matchup. One of the best. Defensive placement for the Bloodbound Mentor. Some insurance to get the nukes rolling later. Witch King immediately gonna grab it with the demonic lure. Because if this owl was allowed to chill for a turn and a second owl showed up and the crypto happened, there would just be so much artillery. We might actually see MushyMango do this anyway. And by getting both mana, the Warbird can actually take out the unit at the top. So it seems to be an excellent start for MushyMango. Pushing a ton of damage, clearing the board. Witch King at least able to answer in turn, taking out the board, but having to hit the Bloodbound Mentor earlier and all these other minions, already half the health bar is gone.
Yeah.
And the fake clock is just spinning quickly. Munch is one way to heal, but with only a single creep, it's not going to be that effective. Other way to heal being the Spectral Blade. Witch King also responding with a Sentinel of his own. Pretty nice. No hesitation from MushyMango. We're having some real fast plays, and Witch King snags himself a copy of Jack's True Sight on discount. It doesn't actually function though, because it needs corners to spawn units. Oh, MushyMango just speedrunning. Witch King will at least be able to ping off these mini jacks. But unfortunately, this artifact is falling off immediately, and there are no good heal targets. Well, here's half of a Jack's True Sight. Really weird looking yin-yang board. MushyMango finally taking a pause to think out his turn instead of just immediately jamming the plays, because there isn't an obvious way to push this turn. A Warbird in the pocket is pretty nice. That's it for burst. Well, here go the ranged units. Got a mini jacks on both sides, pretty lovely. Except when the Cloud Caller comes calling. Leaves a leftover 4/5 on body on the table too. Abyssal Energy is only at 2 for Cassie, so Witch King can't do much about this Cloud Caller. Doesn't have the ping on cooldown to take out the mini jacks cleanly either. And Yielding Depths doesn't even function as a card draw spell. MushyMango does need to be careful to not play into Betrayal though, because if something like a EMP was dropped next to him, could potentially find himself suddenly out of health. But we see the very excellent Abyssal Noble. Probably gonna have to be dropped as just the only thing out. This Warbird is usually a token spell you would replace, but in this situation, it's gonna be pushing lethal pretty much. Gigantic basic EMP threat. Turns off the Abyssal Noble's ability. This would potentially be something good to heal off of. And the EMP could potentially just bash Faye. EMP plus this Noble still wouldn't quite do it. Witch King definitely had a pretty rough start and doesn't really have the health fallback to keep the game going. Has Desolator for a little bit of healing over time.
Needed to draw what's that spell? Spikes down response.
The bunch play actually ended up being pretty decent with the Noble to trade in. EMP's destroyed.
Shadow Nova.
Yeah, has a Shadow Nova in hand now. Oh, and the BBS in the pocket and BBS on the board. Witch King goes to 2. Ooh. Does have another munch, but doesn't have any more than 3 hit points that could be healed up from it. Healing up is definitely the play. And has just enough mana for Ooze, so Ooze does not get replaced. Oh, 1 damage with that, 1 with the Warbird, 1 with the pocketed Warbird. And then the finishing melee slash to take it out. MushyMango taking game number 1 against Witch King.
Yeah, that was a tough matchup for Witch King.
Yeah, that was real tough. Maybe you're right about this Ron starter. It might have been a little better to heal up after the huge burst. But that burst that came out immediately. A pair of Bloodbound Mentors plus the Crypto to get it going. It was definitely pretty tough. And not having much creep generation for quite a while. As munches weren't hitting very hard. Okay, we're gonna see if
really
Witch King.
Difference.
Yeah, can Witch King bring it back? It's got to win 2 wins in a row now. Or is MushyMango our 3rd place winner? Let's find out. Ready for game number 2?
I'm ready.
We're jumping into game number 2 in 3, 2, 1, going in. We in fact have the double mix-up.
Oh.
MushyMango here with Saj. Be cool to see this Fate Seeker do some work. It's one of the new cards to DGG. This Atom Clinger threatens to be a huge attacker. In fact, the play here might just be Thunderclap into Atom Clinger gets the Scintilla. The only problem with that is Thunderclap is no longer a surprise. But destroying the Scintilla is good enough. So 3-4 healers off the table. 4 power threats still hanging around. Witch King can heal up damage with the Azure Herald and pins the General down with the Knight. but has to be careful to not lose the knight to the Thunderclap. MushyMango could potentially steal this with Fate Seeker. Instead, we're gonna get some card draw off Dream Shaper. And has drawn a combination of Time Maelstrom and this Iris Barrier, so it can really go to town smashing these minions. Witch King's gonna want to get rid of this artifact immediately. But doesn't have a third source of damage to do it. Well, technically, Gold Vitriol's a bunch of sources of damage. Oh, both pings hit the 3-3, so Dream Shaper's off.
Oh no.
If Witch King won both coin flips, then we'd be able to knock off this Thunderclap. Oh,
Here comes
oh, look at that.
Frenzy.
Frenzy Thunderclap.
Wow.
Thanks for the army. This Cleric and this Herald or whatever, but this Knight is pretty real business, and together, this is such a force. And Witch King's running out of resources.
That's yeah. I mean, that was exactly the kind of place you want with Zephyr and Thunderclap. Wow.
Yeah, this was the dream. The triple steal? Damn.
Mm-hmm.
What a play. And BBS is coming off cooldown, so MushyMango could potentially get a second Knight stolen. Could also steal it with a Fate Seeker. We got multiple thieving options. There's also a bit of synergy between Sworn Avenger and Time Maelstrom. Got the Scarab to threaten to win the game immediately. Some pretty nice options, but I'm feeling the Iris Barrier into Psionic Strike into Thanks for the Night. But MushyMango's feeling it's time for the big boy in the back. Witch King does have 2 copies of Claim, so probably going to want to replace to find one of those.
What she's thinking about how to trade here.
I guess Thunderclap wouldn't work because it was the final pip, but I feel like if that ordering was changed, maybe it would have worked. Oh, a replace and a draw and still can't find Claim. Witch King is going to have to deal with the bees. The Scarabites are going to be pretty nasty. Needed something like a Sky Burial. Usually you only see the Wanderer or the Swarm King Scarab with Wanderer, so these are all 2/2s. But turns out it's just fine as a finisher here as well. Comboed with some Emera healers. Well, there's the first volley of the Scare Bites. Yeah, second volley cannot be survived. Not even a replacing the claim would do it.
It's looking dire.
Yeah, things really seem to be sealed once that triple steal happened. And the Swarm King Scarab, absolutely. And the healer. Alright! MushyMango is placed third with a 2-0 victory over Witch King. Which means 60 bucks. Congratulations. Helgen will be in contact and we'll figure out a good medium for sending that. Yeah. Very cool stuff.
MushyMango.
Yeah.
Games.
The games. We'll play to get this far. Alright, on to the main event. We've got nyxnyxnyx on one side, sporting the double Magmar, versus Aridex with the Fae and the Maeve deck. But the Maeve deck has only been used once. And that was actually to eliminate me. So that's one hell of a back pocket. The one time it was used, it was, I got kind of crushed by it. But other than that, it's just been Fae the whole time. nyxnyxnyx has been using mostly Voth with this cool smashy style and this gigantic Marauder, but sometimes we'll bust out this tricky Starhorn that's got this dragon and Meiotic Induction to just make an instant thing. It's even running an Eclipse to punish high attack. Okay, so whoever wins 3 games here is taking everything. And second place gets half that, but they don't get the trophy or the cool unique card back. Are you ready for game number 1 of our finale?
I am now ready. Okay.
Alright, let's go in 3, 2, 1, paste. nyxnyxnyx versus Aridex. Oh, and it's Starhorn, the rare deck. And Aridex probably has to be put on match point before Maeve gets swapped in. Oh, nyxnyxnyx has turn 1 airdrop. Check out this root opener.
What a first hand.
Yeah. Bam, right in front of the mana.
Yep.
Well, that's a really good start. Aridex really could have used that extra mana. But now has to do something like Circulus in the corner or something. Or maybe like a Crypto into just 2 damage ping. Not that great. Already on the back foot. This 1/4 is such an innocuous minion. There isn't even a Mechasaur synergy going on. It's just here to be annoying and have excellent openers.
Yeah, it's the excellent opening card if you turn 1, and you know you can drop something from anywhere late game. So
Yeah. Like, for instance, a 10-7 flying doesn't care where it's deployed as long as it's somewhere quiet. There is actually possibility for Mechazor if enough of this unit gets revived, because we're seeing a ton of healing sages in Nyx's hand.
I hadn't even... Oh wait, no, that wouldn't work. It wouldn't get its opening gambit.
Oh yeah, tiny amounts of incidental healing. 2 healing sages.
Wow.
If you have multiple healing sages, you can actually duplicate dead units. So one dies, you get 2. And yeah, come to think, duplicating this unit doesn't give me the Mechazors, because opening gambit only triggers and play from your bar.
That would be...
That would be a little too good. You have to use Feralu if you want to use that particular cheese. So it's not actually a good target for Healing Sage to bring back. These 2 sages are basically just cheerleaders. I would expect the Rift Beast to be targeted though. Between a General Slash and a Maw, it can be taken down. Maw's also a pretty interesting deck choice. I generally only see it in Wanderer, but here it is.
Yeah, Nyx is, appears to be an excellent technical player, so clearly that's some key tech choices there.
Yeah, there's some you could call them rare card options, and there's a ton of them, and doing really well with them. Here he is in the grand finals. Although it is a pretty awkward turn, because a Maw into Slash still leaves a lot of leftover mana. Seeking Eye kind of helps your opponent. It's way too early for Thumping Wave. A Healing Sage could potentially get the mana,
Yes,
and then use the ability on it to get the mana. Yeah, brings back the 1/4. That leaves up mana for Maw. Oh, this line of play I did not foresee. Rift Beast still living.
Huh. Me neither. I would have expected... okay. I thought for sure one of those 2 that was left was going to be dead, and instead Crypto died.
Yeah. The nasty Wisp is out. Transforming it into a rabbit only does so good. Well, I guess the Maw can 2-shot the Rift Beast at its leisure. It might be pulled back by Hearth Sister though.
To draw a card. Okay.
Replaces and finds the 1/1. Well, Flash Reincarnation is quite good with Eclipse, but it can't be cast this turn. Might be seeing a Viling in the back and maybe a Tremor to stop a card draw. Rift Beast? Nah, it doesn't really matter when your opponent's got a full grip. Okay, so the stun is going on the Rift Beast. Can't just let your opponent get as many free cards as they want. This mana disadvantage issues pretty nasty for Nyx, because we might see an EMP coming down next turn.
Step back so it didn't get smacked by the wisp. Okay. Yeah, I would probably use.
Yup. Here it is. The big stoic robot has showed up. So Viling, unfortunately, won't be an infinity, and these healing sages are just squires. Nyx could potentially Viling into Flash and Eclipse, but turning the EMP into a rabbit might be better. A very menacing 12 power EMP. Thumping Wave, pretty nice removal because it also gives you a plus attack, which pushes forward the Hate Furnace Trial. I like it in that deck. We got the forward Viling to just take the hit from the kin once it transforms. Although I think this would have been better off being put on the back where it won't immediately explode.
Nyx didn't want to take 3 damage.
Yeah.
Too much.
Definitely adds up against this kind of deck. 3 damage is like 2 turns lost. Right. And it might get a +1/+1 from the transform.
Oh, plus.
Okay, the transform in fact does not count as a summon. So the rapids are just slash for 1. Bloodbound Mentor in the back and Crypto in the pocket. Aridex has a ton of damage ready to go. Gatekeeper's here to push the issue. Unfortunately, this Eclipse could actually be positioned, so every time a BBS hits, it also hits the enemy general. Might be part of the reason why this deck was chosen.
Eclipse is such a good card. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's got a lot of uses. We actually had the Solar Eclipse just yesterday, so good timing.
Yep.
I would expect the Eclipse to be vertical of his general, but his general needs to get away from this Gatekeeper. Of course, we can see there is no way because EMP can just immediately turn on, or these Heart Sisters can get it to step forward. Oh, Eclipse in the back. Maybe these Healing Sages can do a decent wall against an EMP waking up the Gatekeeper.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
0 cards in hand to a full grip, though, is getting pretty rough. Lava Slash is a nice draw. But this Eclipse has got to do a lot of work. Prison, pretty amazing. And here goes most of Nyx's health in game number 1 here. Even if Eclipse was positioned just below the general, it could have been swapped out. Yeah, and the Mentor way in the back. Next turn, Nyx is just dead to the BBS, so won't be able to position these units anywhere to do anything about that. GG go next, I guess.
No.
Viling is pretty good with Dealtis because you get 2 procs at it going up. Unfortunately, those cards did not come out in that order. At least not early game. Yep, finisher of choice is Double Warbird. Game number 1 going to aridex. Needs to win 2 more games to get this. Nyx has got 3 more wins he's got to get.
Hold on, let me screenshot that.
Might have been just an unfortunate opener. It seemed pretty good actually to start.
Was a rough opener.
Had the mech and everything, but the next couple turns kind of got faded. Yep, this Fey Bloodwing deck seems to be the deck to beat. Maybe with some Eclipse positioning could turn the BBS against aridex.
Yeah, it's a great counter for certain things like that. You'd certainly stop BBSing from happening, but at that point, aridex was rolling and Nyx was backpedaling.
Yep. Maybe we'll see these Dagonas show up. Are you ready for game number 2?
I am.
Excellent. We're jumping into game number 2. 3, 2, 1. Pastry play. Okay, aridex currently up at 1. Best of 5. Has the pair of fishes in his hand. Nyxnyxnyx has switched over to the burn style of Voth. Plus these gigantic minions. Deep Impact is a pretty good way to deal with EMP and this Marauder. Pretty slashy, but there's a ton of Hailstone Prisons that potentially answer it. So Nyx could potentially be put back in time if he's trying to push damage with this 9/9. Notably, this Plasma Storm does hit this Bloodbound Mentor, so Nyx has some good removal against the back line.
I think this is a better matchup for Nyx.
Yeah, the last one, I feel like the 10-7 Flyers would just get cheesed by the Hailstones. Nyx will be able to pump his attack up immediately, starting next turn. Sister to stuff the opener, and a Crypto to be right in the middle to be maximally annoying. So Nyx might be best off with a diagonal step into put a Crater in the middle. Although Crater does combo with Deep Impact. It's pretty awkward to cast that now. Both players draw a bit of damage. It's kind of, this Entropic Gaze is like a mixture of the Starhorn BBS and the Fey BBS. Aridex has the moose.
I think I'd probably use Heart Sister, take the mana tile, then move up and put the moose just right in his. I don't know. Would I also steal that other mana tile? Probably.
Yeah, I probably would have tried to get both mana. Moose in the middle seems pretty solid though. Positioning himself kind of behind the moose.
Oh, okay. Because he wouldn't get smacked.
This is a sketchy minion to walk around. Mcanter's not going to be around for another turn yet. This does look like a good turn for Deep Impact Crater, though.
Yeah. You'd have to walk on it though.
Yeah, we're seeing that. But this is the power of Deep Impact and a Pinger.
That's it.
Which are pretty decent on their own and pretty busted together. And if they end up going pretty even on health, Nyx is going to come out ahead if he gets close with this giant Voth damage.
Yeah, well, that's coming soon. Got another Entropic Gaze in hand.
Yep. And gets thrown back. It might be time to Plasma Storm, even though it's taking out a friendly unit. Yeah, Bloodbound Mentor is way too much to deal with. Any removal that you've got, you might as well chuck at it. And Aridex kind of has a dead turn. It's going to be... Oh, draws a Rift Beast, which is pretty good. Nyx's options are finally opening up. Probably going to see a War Beast in the back.
It's got to be a Mcanter, right? Yep.
Not a Mcanter. So, opting for just being able to push more damage more quickly.
Also forcing other removals, so...
Yeah. Aridex with a trio of ponies in his hand, though. Some real primo removal. Nyx down to 8. Nyx is not running any healing.
He's got finality.
Not even. Wait, yeah, Voth has finality. Alright, yeah, he's got the one copy of it.
Yeah, it's got one. He needs it now too.
Yeah, that is a necessary draw. Gatekeeper doesn't die to Plasma, doesn't die to Homeostatic. Gonna have to use Silhouette Tracer to just walk around it.
Probably gonna jump all the way over to Faye.
No, just gonna drop the Plasma Storm.
Okay. Back up. Okay.
Yeah, and the Blood Tier to make some space. That way even the EMP can't get the Gatekeeper to hit. EMP to Hearth Sister though gets it in. Or how about Hailstone on the Blood Tier? Hailstone pretty deadly when your health is this low and you need every little scrap of units out in the battlefield you can. Nyx could potentially jump in range with the Silhouette Tracer, but just had his attack buff purged. Natural Selection would have been really good earlier. It's actually pretty decent now between... it's kind of insurance to take out the next thing. So Nyx would have this board in the...
Natural select elf.
Yeah. Or a Rebuke. Rebuke into Alchemist is pretty good too.
Oh yeah, Rebuke into Alchemist.
Yeah. So Nyx could deal with this board.
That's definitely...
The only issue is this Warbird button. They gave Faye a pretty cracked out BBS. Finality off the top is necessary. Just a nice heal 10 and destroy a bunch of mana crystals. And aridex is looking for a cryptographer.
Or another owl.
Owl would definitely do it too, yeah. Well, it looks like neither of them drew their out. So aridex probably just gonna drop like a wisp or something to body block. Oh, moment of truth. And the replace is an alchemist. Well. Congratulations, aridex, for clutching game number 2. Nick's probably gonna punch out this wisp. Or could do the Silhouette Tracer to get it nice and personal. But aridex just enough health to survive it.
I would Tracer and go right up and kiss its face.
Yeah, that seems most appropriate here. Nyx might be taking a minute to think about game 3. What deck to bust out? Because it's probably gonna be Faye again. Because this Warbird package is working pretty nicely. Ah. Well. Game number 2 goes the way of aridex. Currently he has a 2-0 lead. So one more win and aridex gets the trophy. Nyx has got to come back the next 3 games in a row. Maybe the Voth tech can do it. I feel like the Story and Finality, if it showed up, it would have been much different.
It was so close. I feel like it was so close to showing up.
Yeah, it was like 1 card away. Ready for game number 3.
Sure am. Yep.
All right, we're going into it in 3, 2, 1. Click, click, click. Bada boom. Nyx versus aridex. We are back to Starhorn. And the Wings of Mechazor's here for turn 1 shenanigans. This actually looks like a pretty nice opener hand for Nyx. Can deal with these 2/2 cryptographers free, and maybe this Eclipse can come out early. Nyx does have a hell of a lot of banners. 2,000 wins. Let's go. Well, here's a funny opener once more. Wings in your face. And we see a slightly different response. Instead of one step forward slash crypto, we see a diagonal step slash crypto. So this crypto is actually able to get this mana now. Nyx has the option to take a mana and drop an Eclipse. But dropping Moz might be better. This Egg Morph would be real nice against one of those EMPs later.
This might be an awkward turn here.
Eclipse seems marginally better than
Like,
Maw.
I feel like you only want to put one right now. Probably just be done. Okay, now we're gonna flash Eclipse.
Yeah, Eclipse down here.
The other, okay.
Maximally far away to keep it safe from stuff like Lightbender. Only problem with fading away from Faye is it allows her to stash nasty minions like this Bloodbound Mentor in the back. And Egg cannot reach it. But between the Viling and 2 Maws, Nyx can actually chomp this Mentor. Burns through a lot of cards to do it, but seems pretty decent.
That was good. That was good. Now might get that Eclipse Lightbender though.
Yeah, or we could see Paragon triple kill. Pretty good cleanup by aridex, keeping the board simplified. Nyx has just the Eclipse to work with. I'd expect this Eclipse to be under the General so it could hit every BBS every time Warbird comes down. And here it is. Vertical formation, we got Dio. Seems pretty solid. Lightbender cannot hit both of these targets. I don't even know which one's a better Lightbender target. So probably going to see a Hailstone Prison on Eclipse, which would heal it. Dio hitting for 5 might be a problem though. Aridex is just flummoxed by the board state. Prison's pretty solid. 6 mana in, 2 mana out. And is able to hide behind a gatekeeper.
That's a solid play.
Yeah.
For what Ari had to deal with there.
Yeah, now it's just going to be Eclipse is back. Delta's going to keep its distance. A lot of the time there's no point damaging an enemy minion unless you can destroy it entirely, so I can see why Nyx wouldn't want to just slash this thing for 4. So we're seeing a really nice Lightbender turn here for aridex. Because all 3 of these minions might even just be
Lightbender, another elf. Just
yeah. Oh, another elf. Oh no. 2 elves on the loose.
probably move. Oh no, you can't move the elf up. Probably drop another elf in front of the elf, and then light bend it right below that elf.
That seems really good. A wall of green. Well, this is pretty much that formation.
Okay.
Yeah, this way there's one that's slightly closer to Starhorn. Nyx could potentially run away and drop the Ember Worm.
Well, surely, yeah. Okay, it's gonna use the elf and hit Dolphus. Okay.
There's options. Eggmorph is decent. Lava Slasher is quite good. Tremor is kind of a turn. Could just be Ember Worm, which might just immediately get silenced, but it's still big. Maybe, no, it's too late for Ember Worm now. It would have been a really good bait for the EMPs.
Probably waiting to draw Meiotic Induction.
Yeah.
You can Ember Worm. If it gets removed, you can induction, then egg it.
That's an instant 10 flying.
10.
So it just needs to work on getting Ardex's health down to 10. And then has the surprise Abracadabra I win maneuver.
Yeah, and actually has 3 Meiotic inductions too. Oh, look at that.
Yep, here's a Meiotic. So Nyx's plan is underway. EMP gets rid of the stun. Going to want to drop this Ember Worm in a place where it could potentially be traded off if it gets silenced immediately. Because if this Ember Worm was put to a back corner and then it was silenced, it'd be stuck, and then it couldn't trade off for the Meiotic to. Well, this will work anyways. Doesn't care if the unit had died, just that it was summoned. Okay, so maybe Ember Worm in the back, pretty good.
Especially knowing that Ari just played an EMP, probably thinking hopefully he doesn't have another, but if he does, yeah.
Yeah, if Ari didn't have the EMP, this would actually be a game-winning board state for Nyx, because Nyx just fly out with a dragon, hatch a second dragon, and then just game over.
Yep.
You can also turn a dragon into an egg and then immediately unegg it, just to wake it up. But here's the Dispel. Necessary maneuver from Aridex or survive another turn. Nyx kind of in an awkward spot that this Ember Worm's gonna have to get traded off on Aridex's terms. But does have the one dragon hatching option. So could play that, just hoping to get the second Meiotic induction afterwards. Alright, here's the power of the deck, everybody. Ember Worm more than just a Gauntlet only minion. Nyx needs to fall back to the corner to not get wailed on by the ZMP. And potentially wins
And
next turn with...
Not cast the mech.
Oh yeah, definitely don't cast it, because then the Meiotic combo stops working. So Aridex actually is able to plug up the gap to prevent himself from just getting immediately game overed by the combo.
Nyx had the right answers there.
Yeah. Nyx draws and replaces, but can't find any more action. Gonna have to do something like Silver Tongue Corsair, Dio, maybe Healing Sage on himself. The only problem though is casting anything turns off the Emberworm Meiotic. So there's also consideration for just passing.
It's got 2 more Ember Worms in the deck, so.
Yeah. Between that, the draw, the BBS.
Ari's gonna. Yeah. Ari's definitely gonna hold himself up in the corner now.
Yeah.
Not knowing what's coming.
The Circulus is going to get upgraded to a Moose pretty quickly. Here's a threatening Wing of Mechazor. Mechazor's coming 40%. So this is some real pressure put right in front of Aridex's face. Asking for this EMP to come down or something.
I'd EMP diagonal by Nyx, and then I'd use the elf to hit Doltus, and then I'd drop the right wall.
Well, we see pretty much that. Nyx's Vanguard Force got cut down. Aridex rebuilt the shield around him. And there's a 7/7 threat that's going to be immediately rabbitified. Silver Tongue Corsair is not the minion needed for this situation. So it gets swapped and turns into an Eclipse.
Wow, can stun.
This...
and
Yeah, wait a minute. This...
and
If Eclipse connects with EMP, the Nyx just wins. A new win condition has appeared.
But yeah,
But yeah, how there's like
and
yeah, they can't both be cast. So here's the stun, and Eclipse does threaten to just immediately end the game, which is pretty funny. But here's Daganona to just seal the deal. Nyx is gonna have to turn into an egg, which isn't gonna trigger its Dying Wish. Who's hitting for 3? If Nyx had enough damage to burst this Dagona and get the Eclipse back, that would have been a pretty funny way back in. But as is, we're seeing 2 transform removals, which is the opposite of what's needed here. Technically, all 3 of these cards could be played. Seeking I use to find any other answers, just more egg morphs. And even if both these units were egg morphed, the EMP could find a way in. And if the Viling was dropped, it could just get cleared by this random illusion that's just hanging out. Lava Slasher shows up, but is not much better.
I think that's the end of this.
Yep, that is every option exhausted from the looks of it. Trapped in between a giant moose and a huge fish. Nyx. Seems to be on his last life in this tournament. Just really running through the motions to make sure that like this lava slasher plus this egg morph plus like take 2 steps to the right. Does that actually buy a turn? No, because the 1 damage. Yeah, there's just no escape. Lava slasher and egg cost 9 mana. Can't cast them both. Alright, well, congratulations Aridex for a 3-0 sweeping in the grand finals. Aridex just wins the whole thing. Congratulations,
That
Aridex.
deck that aridex has put together is a major contender.
Yeah.
Hence why aridex is now at the top of the ladder.
Yep. Congratulations, Aridex. Once again, Aridex #1 on the ladder. And #1 in this tournament. That is it for DGGO number 8. In about a day's time, I'll post the results on the channel and all that good stuff, and we can hand out these lovely prizes for everybody. You can reach out to Helgen, or I'll ping him in about 24 hours with all the details. So whatever these players' preferred method of payment, he can accommodate that. He's got a lot of ways. And we're actually funded for the next tournament too. We've got about $100 that we can spend for the prizes there. We'll see how those go. For tournament 9, I'm going to do a bunch of votes, so people can decide on the format, because this format I just kind of threw together. And I'll be able to update our rank of champions and top placers to capture the 4 that we saw today, and we'll have an awesome new trophy. Well, that was fun. Didn't manage to win this one, but hey, maybe next time.
Yeah, no, that was really good, and thanks to all of our participants. And I thought there was going to be more. I thought that the tingling of money, the dangling of money in front of people's face would, hey, free money, just come join, play our tournament.
Well, we had 16 people show up for that, which is kind of a perfect number. A couple people actually ended up bailing during the tournament, but we kicked off with the Sweet 16, so that's something. Well, it is.
Congrats again to aridex.
Congratulations, Aridex, for the excellent run. But we are done for today.
Thanks so much to you, Tross, for hosting and
Yep.
organizing and doing
Always
all
lots
the
of
stuff.
fun. And thanks, Jeebus, for
Helgen,
coming on
if
to
you're
chat.
listening, thanks to you, dude.
Yeah, the Helgen's actually the real MVP. Thanks for just remaking this game, because he just wanted it, and so he made it. It seems good to me. So,
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Tross. Thanks, everybody.
yep. Once again, congrats, Aridex, and we are out. Adios, y'all. Have a good one.